I always asked, how did it begin? Where did it begin? And the answer I got was basically a dog, Apollo, and another dog named Fido, and pretty much this, a model, $50,000, pretty much, and a bunch of people trying to, basically a bunch of movie magic, basically led to pretty much massive war, lots of death. But then again, they were already doing that beforehand. They just didn't know it. They just didn't know exactly how many people had already died and everything else. And they were grasping at a little bit of legitimacy. Anyway, but basically they were using this to embezzle billions of dollars and millions of dollars of taxpayer money, or basically money from the government or me, and basically which they used to buy guns and other things, and then it just began this whole big. But I mean, when you grand scheme of things, I mean, black race turning into the psychotic war thing, and them pretty much doing this media control thing, that and basically bribing people to bomb Germany, and convincing the black people, or convincing some black people, which convinced some other black people to attack Germany, and this whole big like war that was basically raging. Well, right after I took off with it in my LSFA ship, pretty much. Right after I left, or somewhere around there, basically everything went to literal shitsville on Earth. And stuff like this was pretty much what caused most of it to happen. They posted this, the public believed them, the public thought that they were legitimate. And this, and a whole, like, it's a masterful plan that they orchestrated to do. And basically, fake everything, fake aircraft, fake this, fake that, pretty much. And basically, it took them a long time, and a lot of clones, and a lot of lies, and a lot of killing, a heck of a lot of killing, a lot of backstabbing. I mean, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of shooting people in the back, and a lot of underhanded things, like from giving police officers nothing but lead shot ammo, which they sold at 3 times the normal going rate or price for lead. The most expensive lead you ever bought, pretty much, was basically, someone ever bought. Like I said, it wasn't me. I may have manufactured it, but I did not sell it. I mean, I did not buy it. Why would I buy lead? That's kind of a waste. Anyway, and they basically, I think they were stealing the supply that was going into a battery factory or something like that. They basically bought a battery factory and took what lead or money was there or something like that, and that's how they closed the battery and killed everybody at the battery factory. And that's how all this gets connected. Pretty much a battery factory, JFK, a battery factory where a lot of people died at, a battery factory that took a lot of lead and basically used all its money to buy nothing but lead to sell to the government or the people, that a bunch of police officers bought or purchased or whatever. They shut down the lead battery factory to basically create lead bullets, which they sold at 10 times or 5 times the normal going rate for bullets. And basically then they used a bunch of depleted uranium armor to pretty much run amok throughout civilization, and basically shoot their way near and into the White House or something like that. And it depends. I mean, there's like 100 groups basically, and a whole lot of lies, and a whole lot of basically like I said, they would go like this to people with a gun, or motion people over to talk to them, and then they would go shoot them in the head, because, well, a lot of times they're so high and so on drugs that they couldn't shoot straight anyway, so they would try and motion people over to help them carry the body or help them with something. The people would stupidly walk closer, and they would go as soon as they got close enough for them to shoot. I don't know why anybody would actually walk near a guy waving a gun, or near a guy with a gun, or sometimes they would hide the gun and they would say, like, come over here and talk to me, and then they would. And like I said, that's why guards don't go over to talk to people. They stand there with their hand on the gun, ready to shoot. Anyway, they did a lot of different things, pretty much, and they eventually did start taking hits, basically because most police officers were like, I ain't using that, and actually even started making their own bullets once they realized what was happening. Anyway, there's a lot of massive amounts of death, and basically killing, and pretty much a lot of really, really bad stuff that that, I had to wade through and just basically like and a lot of asking the public what the fuck, and eventually a lot of people eventually finding out about everything else and going, oh fuck, because they were involved and pretty much they were going to get tortured, if not by me, then somebody else. So it was best if they actually went to the public and was like, hey, it's a model. I had nothing to do with it. I'm going to go and take back the Lamborghini and basically go live in this normal house. Because I don't want anything to do with it, the guy said, pretty much. And pretty much he was sorry for ever having anything to do with it and basically walked away. And he was a very smart man for doing that. Because lots of others would be like... And basically Nixon and JFK and John McCain, a lot of others were going to go down like a flaming goose. Pretty much. And if I didn't get to them, then somebody was. Like I said, 12 races, 70,000 other life forms. I'm just one of them. Hey, they can be very protective of their creator and leader. And basically, like I said, it didn't really matter whose fault or how it became or how it was going to end. Some of these life forms, they were very, very protective of me because I was their creator and daddy. And so, basically, like, the LSF ship was very well known. The LSF ship was very well known, and basically, the ships were in existence, and basically, 330 to 1,200, 120 other planets knew of me and had actually seen my ship come to them and then leave. So, and I'd even led them and all kinds of other stuff, and I had dropped them off. And so I was very well known. So, anyway, to the 1.5s, to the exoskeletons, it was just a matter of which colony ship and where there was a colony ship and if the colony ship had ever come in the first place or was even in existence. And that was where the cover-up came in and all that other stuff. And they were just trying to kill me as Brian. So, anyway, once my name was known and everything else, well, Anyway, and it was just this big old nightmare that a lot of people would be like, oh, wow, what the fuck? It's like... Anyway, so, yeah, and basically it led to pretty much Marilyn Monroe being tortured and a bunch of women that basically found that there was no one that was going to help them and that there was nothing that they could do and that these people were going to hunt them down and kill them no matter where they went, basically, and rape them as well, and probably kill their family members even if they did leave. So, basically they were up a creek without a paddle because, like I said, they threatened Marilyn Monroe's, or the original Marilyn Monroe. They threatened her like crazy. She was their plaything. They played with her like she was a toy. Made her feel whatever they wanted to make her feel. Scared her, intimidated her, make her run. She was like in this nightmare, this never-ending nightmare that was JFK. A lot of people were in this never-ending nightmare that was basically JFK. So, and Nixon. And pretty much they didn't know who to trust or how involved they were. And it was like NASA and that Filipino guy, NASA, was a boxer, and they were using all these people and paying all these people to do all this horrible, horrible stuff. And basically, a lot of people would find that the police wouldn't help them, no one would help them. And in fact, some police even died, for even thinking about people like Marilyn Monroe. And nobody knew why, nobody knew who, nobody knew where, and it was basically, the public was like, and there's all the JFK's pretending to be this great guy. And everybody actually thought he was a great guy. Everybody thought Nixon was like this hero. And all these other people were like this hero. They had no idea, basically. It hit the public like a ton of bricks, you might say. Nobody, everybody believed what they could see, which was space programs, space this, space that, what they heard on the radio, which was a radio show. And they actually thought that all this stuff was real. But, doing like a heat effect or something like that, or I don't know, this might even be a real spaceship. They interlaced everything. No, actually that's fake, that's right, it's too shiny or something like that. I forget. Anyway, they did a good job of faking everything. And then what was fake turned to reality when one of them actually got into some place that they could actually use real bombs. And then they did. Because they just didn't give a fuck. They'd already killed hundreds of people, thousands of people to get to where they were. And they didn't feel that there was any sense in stopping. So,